Is it episode 4, by the way?
I think it is.
Yes,
Are we,
yes.
why did I
That's a
think it was
milestone.
5? I really thought it was 5. Okay. All right,
It's
carry
still
on,
a
Steve.
milestone. It's 3 more than I thought we were going to manage.
Boom, 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 boom.
4 men in a wormhole!
Welcome to episode 5 of 4 Men in a Wormhole, featuring me, your host, Stephen Gurevitz, as always, and joining me today is Adam Leach.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Adam. And also Simon Cohen.
Hello.
Hello and welcome. And in his festive jumper, because this is our Christmas special, this is our Christmas episode, everyone. So thank you for joining us for our Christmas episode where we do all things festive. Tyle's already drinking and wearing his festive jumper. I'm on whiskey, this seafood whiskey, which is very cool. I don't know what Adam and Simon did. Simon's got the wine and Adam's got a jug of water. So moving on to the exciting things that we're going to be discussing on this episode, as always. And the first thing we always do is what sci-fi or science news have we enjoyed? And we're going to start off with Simon. Simon, what have you enjoyed?
Well, the big news, at least for me, the big news is having not had it, well, almost no Marvel for the best part of a year and a half. I think Spider-Man Far From Home was the last thing we had. Suddenly we've got the announcement of really what's coming next year, and it's a hell of a lot, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm going to whiz through it, then we can come and talk. We can talk about some of it, but kicking off in January, we've got WandaVision. Yeah, Scarlet Witch and Vision get their own show, and then also with their own shows, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Actually, WandaVision is January the 15th. That's only a few weeks away, and then in March is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. By the way, all the trailers for these are out as well. You can go and see them, and they're very cool. In May comes Black Widow, which was supposed to be released obviously this year, but it's been pushed back because of COVID. Also in May, Loki. If you haven't seen the trailer for that, you've got to see the trailer for Loki.
That looks really good.
Really cool. That's the one I'm looking forward to. And then more of the movies. We've got the Shang-Chi movie, The Legend of the Ten Rings, and the What If and the Ms. Marvel coming sort of later on in the year. And then finally at the end of the year is the Eternal movies. Loads and loads of stuff. I mean, it's literally, I can't wait for 2021. And interestingly, actually, a lot of the characters in these shows are already dead and coming back to life, so that's quite cool.
Yeah, I was just saying, Vision's dead.
Yeah. Vision died. Yeah. Vision died in Infinity War. He wasn't one of the ones that got brought back in Endgame, so it's going to be interesting to see what they're doing there. Black Widow obviously died.
Black Widow's an origin story, though, isn't it?
Black Widow's an origin story, absolutely. So she's allowed to be alive. Loki died in Infinity War, beginning of Infinity War, but this is a different Loki that is, it's a different time stream because in Endgame they went back and I think dropped the Tesseract and Loki grabbed it and sort of disappeared off, and so it's a different Loki. It's a previous Loki, so he's going to be up to his usual mischief. So yeah, there's not only loads of new stuff but returning characters, and I'm just wetting myself with excitement.
I saw the first trailer for it and thought it's amazing. It looks amazing, but it was also so way out there that I couldn't quite get my head around anything. It was just too different. WandaVision, yeah. But I saw the second trailer, and the second trailer really whets my appetite. I think there's like 2 official trailers. I think the second one shows you a bit more about kind of the fighting of what they're trying to, the people that are against them or whatever it is they're trying to, and the glitches or whatever in their life, kind of explains a little bit more. But
I think I've heard we're going to learn more about the origins of Wanda and who she is and how she got her powers, and because she sneaked in one of the Avengers movies, I think.
Civil War.
Was it Civil War?
Yeah, I think
but we never really learned a huge amount about her, and we sort of, every movie that goes by we see a new power that she's got, and so yeah, I think we're going to learn quite a bit more about her and where she's come from.
Didn't Kevin, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right.
Feige.
Kevin.
We call him Kevin. He's Kevin to us.
I'm sure Kevin said, which was quite controversial, that WandaVision was more powerful than Captain Marvel. recently.
Hang on, what? Sorry, Wanda and Vision. Both of them are more powerful.
Not Wanda Vision, because that's the name. Wanda, as in, Wanda is actually the Scarlet Witch is more powerful than Captain Marvel, according to the gatekeeper of lore, Big Kevin.
I think in terms of her magic, I mean, I think that's the difference. She's got incredible magic powers, whereas Captain Marvel, I think, is probably more about her strength. But yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. She's, as I say, everything that we see from her, we see a little bit more about what she can do. So it'd be very interesting to see what they're going to bring to the table.
Little side note, because obviously she does use magic, or she's using powers. Because if she's using magic, you'd think that her and Doctor Strange would understand each other's powers, if you know what I mean.
Right, and I believe actually it's interesting you should say that. I think she's in the next Doctor Strange movie, which I don't think is this year. I think it's next year. But the other thing that's going to be interesting about the series, so WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki, is they're going to be intertwined with the movies, with the main Marvel Cinematic Universe, which they haven't really done before. You know, all of the stuff that was on Netflix and in Humans and Agents of Shield. Agents of Shield was probably the closest to the movies, but they never really crossed over. I think now they're all under one roof because Marvel Studios, who make the movies, are making these series. I think we're going to see a lot of stories intertwining, and it's going to be necessary to watch them all. Which
I do wonder whether, I know these were obviously in the planning for a long time, so it probably does predate the whole COVID thing. But I wonder now, with the whole fact that cinema visits are going to be less, and everyone's trying to get the subscription thing going, more, keep it going. I think we're just going to see more and more of that. Really, I mean, I think. I was about to jack in my Disney Plus membership after I'd watched all the stuff that they've been putting on it up to now, and then obviously they announced all this, and I won't be getting rid of it anytime soon. So
no, I was just going to say, I think there was always a slimmer roster of Marvel movies through 2020. I think there was only 2. So all of the planned stuff was always going to be next year. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they always planned to have these TV shows that then worked with the films. But I think it's just played, COVID just made that even more important, I think.
Well, actually, I think there were 2 things. One, the flop of Solo, even though Solo is actually a very good film, the flop of Solo resulted in Disney reorientating their plans from movies to TV shows. That's the first thing. Is because with the movie, it either makes money or it doesn't. There's no second go. A TV series can live for longer. Plus, you can cull it after a first season if it's not doing well, so you can control your cost to some degree. So after the flop of Solo, I think Disney made a strategic decision not to do any more movies until they do the next big trilogy, which is not for at least 10 years away. So plus with the launch of their streaming thing, which is way more successful than they thought. I mean, their numbers are not far off Netflix, and they thought it wouldn't be. I think they predicted like 30% of their current subscriber numbers. So one, they've got all these subscribers who need now content to justify that investment, like Tal. No, there's lots of Tals. 2, there's the flop of the Solo movie. So there's only one Tal. There's only one Tal. And then 3, as you said, Adam, COVID is the nail in the coffin for the fact they already were moving away from cinema, because clearly, COVID is going to kill cinemas. Over to you, Mr. Leach.
Oh, I'd forgotten what I was going to say, but I think you made some really, really good points. So there's no need to labour on about any of that.
Before we move on, I've got a question for you, and so just coming back to here we go back to our episode 1 where we asked what is sci-fi, and I just wanted to run something by you because my son is watching a show at the moment, and I'm not sure whether it's sci-fi or not. So he is watching The Man in the High Castle.
I love it.
Well,
right, so we all know what it is. Okay, so it's if Germany won the war, so the question is it sci-fi? Because he's watching. I'm like, that's great, Charlie. That's sci-fi. He's like, that's not sci-fi.
No.
What season is he up to?
He's just started it. So
okay, because it isn't. To be honest, I haven't watched the latest series. Are you up to date with that, Adam? Because I've only watched.
No.
I've watched the first 2 and a bit series. I can't remember how many there are now.
I was just going to say a couple of things. a couple of things about it. Well, is it sci-fi? Well, it's written by Philip K. Dick, which is one of the best, finest sci-fi authors of all time. So that gives it some kind of sci-fi direction, I think, seeing as he did.
They don't explain a lot of it, or at least they haven't in the first couple of series. They hint at stuff, and it is about the sort of interdimensionality and things and all that sort of stuff. But they don't really go into a lot of detail about explaining any of it. But then that is typical Philip K. Dick as well, because he doesn't often explain his sci-fi, and it's often so off the wall that it's quite difficult to comprehend in terms of sort of science.
But also though this genre, I think, is called kind of alternative history. Is a kind of genre of itself, isn't it? Of books and films. So I think perhaps Man in the High Castle. I don't know whether the alternative history genre was big when maybe Philip K. Dick was the first one he did of it. But
just an alternative history though, because our history does exist as well, and it just exists in unison. So that becomes evident. Again, no spoilers.
Okay, so it's a bit of like a multi-universe type thing. So maybe it's more sci-fi.
There's a multiverse thing, and people are crossing between them as well in the later series. So,
which is a bit like the Nazis in Star Trek. If you ever saw that episode or those episodes, because I think there's been more than one, there was Nazis in Star Trek. I'm trying to remember if it was Next Generation.
Well, there was in it Enterprise.
No, it was Enterprise.
No, actually, and Voyager. So, yeah, Enterprise had the.
Went to New York. He went to New York and he was fighting the Nazis because one of the time traveling alien people, as part of the Temple Wars, had gone back in time to New York.
And then in Voyager, Adam, I don't know if you've watched these ones yet, but in Voyager, the Hirogen, who are like an aggressive, like war games type race, basically turn Voyager into a giant holodeck. They basically expand the holodecks to like half the ship, so that they can play this World War II war game. It's a really good double episode. Why would they need to
do that with the holodeck?
I think there may have been the reason they may have extended it is there may have been some limits on the recreation that could take place within it, or maybe the number of people that could be inside it. They couldn't create what they wanted to create. But I am going to have to go and watch that episode now.
I was just saying, in Discovery, you've got the Terrans, of course, who have a very similar salute and everything, don't they, to the whole kind of, that whole alternative universe thing. It's a running thread.
Yeah. Yes, the fascist day. So, thank you, Simon, for your Marvel excitement and
marvelous.
It was
marvelous. Tal, talk to us about all things science.
Oh, I haven't got any science this week, apart from in fact, I'm a long way away from science this week, just because I'm kind of going to sneak this one in here because I want to talk a little bit about The Mandalorian, which I know isn't technically sci-fi, and I won't dwell on it massively, but obviously it was the end of season 2. Week or last week, and I couldn't not mention it because it was very, very, very good.
Hang on, no spoilers, because people might not have seen it yet.
Spoilers. No spoilers, except I will give one spoiler because I think it's obviously in the news about what's coming next, and it doesn't spoil anything. I don't think it really does spoil anything about the current series, because if you've been reasonably up to date, you know that Boba Fett makes an appearance, and they are obviously doing a spin-off show. And it took a while, and I know, Stephen, you found some stuff, and I've been having a look online as well, because it took me a while for me to work out whether or not it was just going to be season 3 of The Mandalorian was going to be about Boba Fett, because it's called the Book of Boba Fett, but as it's now become evident, looks like the Book of Boba Fett is actually going to be a spin-off about Boba Fett.
Yeah.
But interestingly, the Book of Boba Fett, the original one, I think is about him as a young man. But I get the impression from, again, shouldn't spoil it, but it looks like they're going to actually carry on. This one's going to be in the same timeline as The Mandalorian, so it's going to be older Boba Fett.
Yeah. But I wonder if they'll do flashbacks.
They might do flashbacks. Yeah, true. So I think originally Mandalorian was going to be coming out in the next year, and that's been postponed now. But it would normally come out in autumn time. So I think it comes out would have been autumn 2021, but that's now not coming out probably until spring summer 2022. And then you've got, in the meantime, you're going to have this Book of Boba Fett, which will start this time next year. So we've got a bit of a wait still. But again, goes back to this thing about films as well, because I think originally they were talking about doing a film of Boba Fett. But
yes, they were. But just I bet you, because every time you get a new series, whether it be The Mandalorian or even say Picard, they use the series, like Picard's about Picard, right? But actually they use it to bring back characters you love and wanted to find out what happened to. And I bet you Boba Fett will do flashbacks. He says, I bet you, and I have no idea. So, but it'll be interesting to see if Boba Fett does flashbacks to show you what happened to Jango Fett, because the last time we saw him was in the Clone Wars. And obviously they have the fight, and Boba is just a little boy, and they managed to get away from Obi-Wan, and then we don't know what happened to the dad, who is the originator of all the clones after all. And I wonder if we will see flashbacks to his dad, and then that obviously we see how he became the man he is today, but that will be their justification to do something cool, because we'll be able to suddenly see a whole new part of Star Wars.
Might bring in Han Solo as well, young Han Solo as well, maybe.
Could do that.
Interesting, yeah, because they were all friends of Jabba the Hutt. They were all in that scene together. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Simon.
Tal, I just want to ask Tal, actually, Stephen, have you seen it, the Mandalorian yet? Have you seen the end of it? So in which case, this is to both of you, because I think Adam's still working his way through it. But when I was watching that last scene, or the last sort of 5-10 minutes, I was literally like shouting at my television, oh my God, yes, is it really? It was just such an amazing moment, and so many. It was like an early Christmas present for all the Star Wars fans to do what they did at the end of that show. It was fantastic.
I've been watching. I watched it with the kids, but interestingly enough, we've literally just been working our way through all the Star Wars films with the kids as well. So they've never seen any of them up until quite recently. And we started with 4, 5, and 6. We did 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3, and now we're on 7 and 8. And then at the same time as around sort of like seeing, sort of episode 3, which is obviously great because it kind of ties a lot of things in. And then we've jumped to 7 and 8, and then obviously we've been watching The Mandalorian in tandem with that. So that just made the end of season 2, again without spoilers, but that just made the end of season 2 just even more better. And the kids were just again doing exactly the same thing. They were shouting at the TV.
It was such a brilliant ending to a great series, a great season. Season 2 was better than season 1, and it was just fantastic ending. Adam, have you started yet?
Yeah. I'm episode 5, season 1.
Oh, okay, all right, you're making progress.
Yeah, so to getting on with it, it's watchable. It's kind of.
I found the same on season 1. It was watchable. You keep watching it, but then for me, season 2 was. I've said it before. It was visually great to watch, and the storylines are good, and it gets better, Adam.
Season 1 is it's what Simon just said. It's totally watchable. Season 2 is like a different level. The other thing I'll just say, I actually cut this from one of our previous podcasts, but I just want to remind everyone, the way that this is filmed is totally different to how Marvel movies are filmed, where everything is green screen. Here they use these LED screens, so the actual backgrounds are visible to the actors whilst they act, but it also means you get natural light. And the reason I'm telling you this is, especially Adam, you're now watching it, whereas we're not watching it anymore. Obviously his armor shines.
Yeah.
You will notice everything is reflecting the way it should. It's like a game that's been ray traced. Everything is reflecting the way it is because the light is actually reflecting on him, so you're seeing the exact right light balance. It's wonderful. And what's really, funny if you're a geek like me, and maybe Tal, because Tal's a photographer, if you then go back to a Marvel movie, you suddenly realize it's dead, because there's no interaction between the background and the people.
The Marvel movie is just suffering from better characters, better stories, and apart from that, it's just being entirely dead.
Season 2 of The Mandalorian is up with the best of Marvel by far. Up with the best of Marvel.
It's a bold claim. There you go.
But I'm saying it, and it's better filmed. And remember, this is me, Stephen, who is not a out and out, Star Wars is best. I did not enjoy the latest trilogy. I like Rogue One, Solo, big fans. Mandalorian season 2, big fan. Mandalorian season 1, not so excited.
I don't think you can convince people you're not a Star Wars fan. I mean, I've been to your house. You have a little R2-D2 in your living room. Like, trust me, I'm not a fanboy, he says, with a full-size replica of C-3PO giving him a massage every night. It's just ridiculous.
Old R2-D2, yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have. got it for my 30th birthday present from some good friends. So moving on, Mr. Leach, you wish to talk about things.
Things. I like some of the things. So yeah, I think when we looked at this, I was looking at what I didn't know what I was going to talk about. Then I saw this, which I just thought needed to be aired. So the US military have expanded. I think last year expanded the number of military divisions they have, and they created a new military division called the Space Force, which I think is funny in itself, right? So there is a legitimate, real Space Force. I mean, it does sound like it should be. I think it is already been satired, and there's Amazon Prime sitcom called Space Force, and it just sounds funny. It sounds like an 80s movie. But they spent a year doing other stuff. I don't know, launching rockets. I don't know, exploring. I don't know what they've been doing. But now they have named what you're called if you're in the Space Force. So obviously, if you're in the army, you've got soldiers. In the navy, you've got sailors. In the air force, you've got airmen. So they obviously need a name, and they've decided that people in the Space Force will be known as Guardians. So these literally will be Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think has just exploded on Twitter. I think it was a week or so ago, or earlier on this week. As you can imagine, it just seems outrageous of life imitating.
Imagine Trump loving that in the meeting, being like, "Oh, what are we going to call it?"
We're going to Guardians.
If his briefings are actually just, Marvel Comics, as the most up-to-date briefing, this is what's been going on with the Guardians this week. And
I think you've got to be careful, Stephen. You're getting too political. This isn't a politics podcast. So there was going. So it made me think that actually there's another. They've expanded the military in another direction, which I know you may have heard as well. But there is a number of countries have now got a cyber force that do kind of active cyber defense. And I just wondered whether they were just going to be called Cybermen.
Hey, cyber. They also, I think, more of them are doing cyber attacks. But
yes, that's what it's for. It's for offensive. Yeah.
Yes, that's a dreadful pun. That's a dreadful pun.
I thought it was quite good. I mean, I'd worked on that for the whole week.
But it's actually it's better than Guardians, right? I mean, if you can have Guardians, you can have Cybermen. At least it's a little bit more relevant.
I mean, the only problem with Cybermen is that it doesn't cyber people, cyber women. It doesn't, it doesn't translate in that way. Yeah, cyber people, cybers. All about the cybers.
All about the cybers, and that's a sort of actually that leads in nicely with what I was going to discuss, which is my big sci-fi experience of the week has been Cyberpunk 2077, which some people may have read about in the news, even if they're not avid gamers, because obviously it's been a bit of a controversial release because it's full of bugs and issues, especially if you're playing it on one of the older consoles. But if you're like me and you're playing it on a next-gen system, it's not so bad. But that's actually a pretty cool sci-fi, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, we've all seen films like Blade Runner and the remake, or not remake, the sequel. Imagine you can. I mean, it's a shame there wasn't a VR intro. It's the first game I'd actually really want to put a VR headset on for, because quite literally, you can walk through streets and they've populated it with lots of people, even though obviously the AI is a bit dumb and they're not all the cleverest of people. But you look up, and it's a proper cyber thing. You look up and you're surrounded by skyscrapers and buildings and flying cars and stuff all around, and you can go there. You can, wherever you see, you can kind of go there, or gives the illusion you can go there. We're not talking about narrow paths. It's a proper open world where you kind of are in this really nice little cyber semi-future with because it's cyberpunk, all the people can have better eyes and what's the word I'm looking for, attachments to their arms and stuff like this to make them more accurate, or be able to scan people and see if they've had their COVID vaccination yet, or whatever it may be. So yeah, that's been my sort of big sci-fi revelation. Putting the quality of the game aside, putting the bugs aside, it kind of is, especially at the moment where we're all locked in our houses. It really is escapism, because you quite literally load the game up and you're suddenly boom in this place with a blue sky and skyscrapers and flying cars wherever you look, and you can just go explore this sci-fi world and go inside it, and that's pretty.
Does sound awesome. Does sound awesome. All I need is a next gen console, and I'm there.
Yeah,
I did get a Quest, an Oculus Quest, and one of the home screens is like a cyberpunk screen. So you kind of sit in your little cyberpunk, or not cyberpunk, but kind of cyber little hovel. You look out across this city with flying cars and all the stuff. It does look really cool. But I can imagine it being like that, and it does work really well in VR as well.
Yeah, so that's been my big sci-fi experience. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen of the 4-person audience. That is our summary of Sci-Fi Week. And meanwhile, moving, as this is the Christmas special, just to remind you, which is why Tal is wearing that lovely jumper.
We've all worn Christmas jumpers.
I haven't worn a Christmas jumper, that much is clear. Adam, you normally wear a shirt, so you're kind of dressing down. Maybe that's because
I'm on holiday.
You're on holiday. There you go. Simon just looks like normal, like me. And Tal is in the Christmas spirit. I think that's lovely to see. That's lovely to see.
Ho, ho, ho.
Full man in a wormhole.
So, moving on, we have sci-fi Xmas or Christmas gifts, all for you Americans, holiday season gifts, but sci-fi ones. So we all thought we'd find some interesting sci-fi gifts, clearly, and we would show you the weird and the wonderful that may be out there. And in no particular order, Tal, as you're the most festive of all of us, would you like to lead?
Who are you buying for?
I've bought for Stephen. I've taken a bit of a risk on this one because chances are he may have it already potentially. But I'm gonna take a punt on it. Might not do, but I know
he's not a Star Wars fan, so nothing Star Wars. Because
it might be Star Wars related. Damn. But I know how much you love Star Wars, Stephen. So I'm going with this, and basically, I think just because of COVID, everyone's obviously Christmas is cancelled and everything. So I'm getting you one of these.
Hold on a minute.
Chewbacca bathrobe, but you've probably got one already, haven't you?
Yeah, so as I was saying, my son has a Chewbacca all-in-one onesie, which is going out of, but obviously if I had this, we'd be a father and son pair, and I think that's pretty cool, even though I'm kind of hairy already.
Yeah, it'll work. It would work.
I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Good, enjoy. I know you love lounging around in that one. There you go. So
that was the Chewbacca dressing gown. So, Tal, have you got anything else for me? Or was that it?
That's it. That's it. That's all you're getting. I'm sorry.
Gosh, I'm a bit shocked. Adam, you've got a present, or maybe more than one, for Simon. Please.
It's only one. And actually, although this is a virtual giving, I did what I do for most present giving and forgot about it until the last moment. And then had to scrabble around to find it, which is slightly ridiculous.
Simon, you just get an Amazon vouchers.
Yes, I've just got some vouchers. Yeah.
That's
so
all I really want.
So there's two things that I know about Simon, and I think everyone here knows that he likes Star Trek, but also other people that know Simon know that he likes vodka. And this gift, it combines the two perfectly. And if you can see that, but it's 10
brilliant
vodka. On the bottle even has the Lacar's kind of UI UX thing of the next generation, and that so you could when you want something that's a bit more punchy than just Earl Grey hot, you can go for.
It is alcohol, isn't it? It's not synthahol.
It's no, it's the real deal. It's the real deal. 40% volume.
Mixed by Guinan herself.
Yeah.
that,
Delivered by Whoopi Goldberg.
That is a fantastic virtual gift, Adam. Thank you. I would be very grateful to, and I would. No, I won't share it with you. I'm having it.
I actually might buy you that. I think that would be an awesome present.
You know, you can also get the wines from the Picard vineyard. That's shown in the couple of the episodes of the Next Generation, but you can actually buy those wines, and I believe you can also buy Klingon blood wine. But I don't have any of those, and I especially don't have the 10 Forward vodka. So yeah, thank you very much. Very thoughtful, very good.
Simon, why didn't you let us know what you've got for Adam?
Well, you see, I know Adam very well, and I know that he's very intelligent, very learned. He's a thinker. He reads a lot. You
know, I think that you've confused me with another Adam.
So I kind of had to go to the other end of the spectrum, because I'd never be able to get you anything that would meet those stringent guidelines. So if we just go to the this is going to take some
lay out those guidelines.
This is going to take some explanation for those that are on audio rather than YouTube, and for those that are, can you see that? so I don't know how to explain this. You know those like comedy chickens. It's like a chicken suit that looks like you're riding on a chicken, and it's the chicken running, and it's a bit like that. This is basically a giant green alien that is holding you, but you put your legs in it. So
so it's like an alien abduction.
It's like an alien abduction. This giant green, it's not even a good alien, is it? This giant green alien is holding you. It looks like it's holding you, and you're in these sort of silly
that is awesome.
Homer Simpson costume. But so sorry, Stephen?
I'd love to see someone go to the toilet whilst wearing that.
Yeah, well, I thought, because the other thing we know about Adam is he likes a fancy dress party. So I can see you wearing this, and I may actually buy you this for your next fancy dress party. But the other thing I liked about this picture is the guy that's modelling it actually looks a bit like you. I mean, he's got your hair for sure. I mean, did you actually model for this product? Is that you?
I did. This is my own range of sci-fi fancy dress costumes that I've got going on the side. I know it's awesome, and I just hope that I could get out and after these COVID restrictions and wear it to a party.
Yes, we all want to see that.
Anyway, Tal, Simon, if you want to, I actually potentially got you 2 presents.
Oh, I feel bad now. I've only got you the dewy bathrobe.
Well, I'm not going to say much more. The first one I thought was this, because I know you like Star Wars. And I just thought this was very, very cool. So what is this? A Hasbro Black Series Star Wars Luke Skywalker battle simulation helmet.
Whoa. Okay.
And if you go cycling or something, surely. And look, hold on, let me just read. It's highly detailed. It has lights and sound effects. Light and sound battle simulation. It has 3 internal speakers. You can change the helmet, so you can pretend you're in an X-Wing or in a snow speeder.
That could be quite distracting wearing that while cycling at the same time. But
I'm not sure what else you're going to do with it. I'm not sure
what. I think that that's the sort of helmet that will say, if you look at the details, it will say also not a helmet. Must not be worn as a helmet.
You crash your X-Wing while wearing this helmet.
Yeah,
so I saw that for you because I just think that looks really cool. And let's be honest, even if you didn't wear it, if you put that on like on a mantelpiece, is that the right word? On something in your living room, I just think that looks awesome. It's the kind of thing I'd put in my living room. Put it that way.
I'd say I think something else for your shelving unit.
Right. And then the other thing I thought was just really cool is if you ever wanted to be the captain of the Enterprise, look at that, an inflatable captain.
Oh, yes.
I think that's awesome. I just think that's the ultimate chair. I'm willing to get rid of my entire living room settee now and just replace it with a number of these. So there you go, Tal. That's the 2 presents you're going to get from me.
You know what? This is going to be an awesome party, right? Tal sitting in his chair with his helmet. Stephen in his dressing gown. Adam's been grabbed by a giant alien, and we're all sharing his bottle of Star Trek vodka. Fantastic!
This sounds like an awesome party. If it wasn't the Tier 4 lockdown, we'd be doing that right now.
Yeah. Best Christmas ever. Best Christmas ever.
4 men in a wormhole.
So moving on. It is that time of the episode where we stand back and we say, what is this week's Tolls feature?
Well, I thought, kind of in homage to the next Marvel thing coming out, which is WandaVision, I thought perhaps we should pitch Scarlet Witch against an appropriate foe. And I thought, well, who would be appropriate to fight Scarlet Witch? And I think just to mix it up a little bit across the different universes, I think we should go for DC and go with Wonder Woman. So then we go Wonder Woman and Wanda. So we've got the two Wandas basically, Wanda and Wanda.
And of course, Wonder Woman's movie is just out, so anyone would think that this is a paid-for promotion. No, it's not.
They can still pay us if they want.
So if they need me to wear a Wonder Woman outfit, so they pay us, I'll do it. If they get paid for it, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
So basically, I thought we'd go for that. And I don't know if anyone's got thoughts on who they think they'd like to pitch on side for who they think they're going to go for.
Well, let's do what we always do. Kind of break down their strengths and weaknesses. Scarlet Witch can kind of fly. Because she can, I've definitely seen her hover and do that kind of stuff. She can.
Wonder Woman can fly, interestingly, even though she's not. It's not a power that she uses very often.
I've just been doing a bit of research. Scarlet Witch can teleport, and Wonder Woman can go really fast.
She does have super speed and super strength.
She's got super speed, but Scarlet Witch can teleport.
I've never seen Wonder Woman fly, at least not in the movie. She just.
No, I don't think she's.
Yeah, there must be some differences with the comics and the.
Yeah. I reckon there is between the Wonder Woman comics.
So here's the thing: I was reading an article that talked about the top 20 powers of Wonder Woman, and in that top 20 are empathy.
Yeah.
And that she's multilingual. Now, if they have to sort of go down to the dregs of empathy and being multilingual as being a power, you kind of think, well, I'm not sure that she's going to win this.
She's probably is technically multilingual.
So the Scarlet Witch. So another article I'm looking at now. I don't even understand most of Scarlet Witch's powers. I'll read this to you: chaos magic, probability field manipulation, reality warping, neuroelectric interfacing, mental manipulation, telekinesis, and force field generation. I'm not sure she's losing to anyone.
Well, I just think
Wonder Woman has kind of got it all, though. I mean, she got her powers from gods. I mean,
But with telepathy and empathy, is she not just the ultimate psychiatrist?
Yes.
But the facts are, though, Simon, Scarlet Witch could be shot. So you could just get a normal gun and shoot Scarlet Witch. You could not shoot Wonder Woman.
True.
Wonder Woman is just impervious. No, she's impervious.
She's not impervious because one of her powers is that she heals quickly.
Yeah,
so she can't be impervious because she takes that damage.
She can withstand a lot of attacks
with her wrist things.
Yeah.
In my opinion, sorry, Stephen, I know you look like desperate to say something, but in my opinion, there's one thing that she's got going for Wonder Woman, and that is, I believe that she is resistant to some magic. So if she can be resistant to Scarlet Witch's magic, then maybe she's in with a chance.
I think it'll be close. I think it would be really close, to be fair. I just think, it would be an almighty punch-up, definitely.
I'm not sure it would be. I think if it came down to a punch, slugging it out, I think Wonder Woman would definitely win. I think Scarlet Witch would have to get in with some.
The thing is, Wonder Woman seems to, and I know we're mixing universes here, but with her bracelets, not only can she stop her bullets, but with her bracelet and I think sword or shield, she seems to be able to stop directed energy. And from what I can see, Scarlet Witch fires directed energy at people. You can call it magic if you want, but ultimately, a physicist would say, no, that's directed energy. And Wonder Woman seems to be able to deflect it. because she's done it with a whole bunch of people. And I think, well, if she can deflect what is being thrown at her, and then she's got that big sword and just stabbed you, to be honest, I think you've done it.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I've just read a bit here that says about her having magical powers, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she has got some magical powers, it's true.
Which are empathy and understanding and the ability to bill you per the hour.
Yes.
What are you suggesting, David? Oh, a psychiatrist, I see. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Keep up, Adam.
It's late for you.
Super speed will be. I mean, I know obviously, I guess Scarlet Witch kind of catches you with some of that magic. She's gonna,
I think Scarlet Witch definitely got more magic.
Well, let's put it to the vote. Let's put it to vote. I know we discussed we might not do that, but I think ultimately we have to. So, Adam, put your hand up. Simon, well, don't. It will, for those on the podcast, they won't see anything. So, I do need to ask you. So, Adam, what do you say?
I'm going to go with Wonder Woman.
Simon, what do you say?
Scarlet Witch.
Tal, what do you say?
I'm sticking with Wonder Woman, actually. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, gentlemen, I think the Scarlet Witch is super powerful, but I think there's something about Wonder Woman. She is of the gods, as Tal says. So Wonder Woman this week has it. And on that Christmas bombshell, that brings us to the end of this week's Four Men in a Wormhole. And I'm glad that we found our way into it, and I'm glad that we now found our way back out of it. Our next episode is going to be the review of 2020. We'll be doing this in 2021, but we'll be looking back at 2020. So please join us for that exciting episode. So you can look back at all things sci-fi for the last 12 months. And I'd like to thank Adam for joining us.
It's been my pleasure.
Yes, let's remember to say things, okay? And, Simon, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And Tal, thank you for wearing that jumper and joining us.
Thank you. Cheerio.
And this is me, Stephen Gurvitz, thanking you for joining us and signing off from Four Men in a Wormhole.
Four Men in a Wormhole!